A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 13, verses 10 to 17. Passage taken from the Message version of the Bible. He was teaching in one of the meeting places on the Sabbath. There was a woman present, so twisted and bent over with arthritis that she couldn't even look up. She had been afflicted with this for 18 years. When Jesus saw her, he called her over. "Woman, you are free." He laid hands on her, and suddenly she was standing straight and tall, giving glory to God. The meeting place president, furious because Jesus had healed on the Sabbath, said to the congregation, "6 days have been defined as work days. Come on one of those 6 if you want to be healed, but not on the 7th, the Sabbath." But Jesus shot back, "You frauds! Each Sabbath every one of you regularly unties your cow or donkey from its stall, leads it out for water, and thinks nothing of it. So why isn't it all right for me to untie this daughter of Abraham and lead her from the stall where Satan has had her tied these 18 years? When he put it that way, his critics were left looking quite silly and red-faced. The congregation was delighted and cheered him on. The Gospel of the Lord. Reflections on the Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 13, verses 10 to 17. Today's passage is an illustration of the unwillingness of the religious leadership to bear fruit. According to the Gospel of Luke, Jesus began his public ministry with the proclamation of his manifesto in the synagogue in Nazareth. Here Jesus is seen fulfilling his professed mission to set free the oppressed. This would be the last time Luke would present Jesus in a synagogue. Luke goes to the detail of the story and tells us that the person cured was a woman. In a patriarchal Israel, women were among those most oppressed, and a crippled person was regarded as cursed, punished by God. Luke pays attention not to miss the significance of the event. If she were in Jerusalem, she wouldn't be allowed to enter the temple because she was crippled. That is, punished by God. Our pains and sufferings do not go unnoticed before God. The suffering woman immediately grabs the attention of Jesus. Luke went on to narrate that she was suffering from her infirmity for 18 years. There is a certain symbolism in the fact that she was badly stooped and not able to stand up straight. She represents all the people who are despised, abandoned, and bowed down with all the burdens and worries of their lives. Jesus saw the woman, called her to him, laid his hands on her, and immediately she stood up straight and began thanking God. Even in such a spectacular healing, the synagogue official is so furious. He doesn't confront Jesus, but the crowd. "Do not look for healings on a Sabbath day," he says. In fact, it was not the woman who asked for a healing. Instead, Jesus healed her even without she asked for it. Jesus was quick to seize the opportunity. Sabbath, in its original meaning, was a celebration of life and freedom. It was connected to God's resting after the work of creation had finished, and later on to celebrate Hebrews' liberation from the slavery in Egypt. Over the period of centuries, the day of celebration had become a rigid and lifeless observance. Sometimes Similar things do happen in our liturgies too. There are people who complain of the altar servers not wearing black shoes while serving at the altar, while they have no idea about the readings and the gospel of the day. We are as good as the synagogue official to point fingers at others. The story is an example of taking the log out of our own eye before dealing with the speck in someone else, or of none being so blind as those who refuse to see. Once again, it is the religious leaders who were sad for the miracle of Jesus, while the ordinary people joyfully marveled at his works.